So I'm having a chat with John Blaylock. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, man. Very well.
Good.
Quite excited. Exciting times. Got good stuff coming up next this weekend, which is going to be great.
We do.
So yeah, good
Yeah,
time.
well, should we we'll touch on that a little bit later on because I wanted to talk to you about your latest single, Temples. Tell us a bit about the single.
Sure. Yeah, man. Well, Tempest came out on October the 24th last year, and yeah, we had it's a song about connectedness. It's about a song about us all being one, being part of the same divine consciousness. It's quite deep for a Tuesday morning, isn't it? And it's yeah, it's a really beautiful song. I wrote it with a lady called Helen Balding, who's championing me in the music industry as well, which is great. So yeah, we recorded that in London with Guy Massey, and yeah, really pleased with it. It's come out well. Got it playlisted on about 70 different radio stations now, which is great. And yeah, it set us up nicely for the next single, which is out in a few weeks.
Nice. What's on the way? What's the next single?
So it's a track called "Life" by the Gram, which is a really cool song. I wrote with my friend in LA. I used to live in Los Angeles, and I would often write with. I wrote with lots of different people, but a guy I wrote with a lot. One time, he said to me, "I've got a really cool song title," and he's like, "You ready?" I was like, "Yeah, go for it." And he goes, "Life." And that was it. And I was like, wait, that's rubbish. That's not too captivating. And he was like, no, I was doing a dramatic pause, live by the Gram. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. That's why that song. So this was basically written as like a first person perspective of being a drug addict, and that your life is dependent on that gram, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. And I believe these tracks are coming off your debut records. What can we expect to hear on it?
Um, I mean, we recorded 10 tracks for this album, and we picked those 10 probably out of about 25. So I think there's good writing on there. I mean, I'm blessed to say that I've written with some amazing writers all over the world. So I've learned a lot from writing with them. I've got some good co-writes, but I've got a lot of good tunes I've just written myself. Um, and so I'd say like there's a lot of honest, heartfelt writing. There's a lot of pretty mean finger picking guitar because that's what I do, and yeah, and my dulcet Mancunian tones singing over the top.
Nice. And what happens to the tracks that haven't made it onto this record? Do you consider them again for next time, or will you just bin them off, do you think?
No, I mean, I'm always hesitant to bin off a song, but I do like to recycle songs. So um, yeah, I would often, having like not messed around with the song for like 3 or 4 years, think, oh, that chorus of that or that verse of that could really work well with something that I'm writing at the moment. So there's a lot of recycling goes on, and yeah, and also it's a matter of taste, isn't it? Because some of the songs that I thought were good enough for this record, the other people involved in making this record preferred others. So when I'm next making a record, depending on who's involved in the team, maybe they might be big fans of some of the ones that got cut from there. So we'll see. But I always like to write more as well, so I like to keep the options going.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And you mentioned that you've got a busy, well, not just weekend, but a couple of weeks lined up because you are heading out on tour shortly with Wet Wet Wet.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, so we started Sunday in Norwich, which is great because I'm gigging this weekend in Manchester Saturday night, and then Sunday morning we'll take the train to Norwich and start this 2 week tour, 12 dates for them across the UK. So Norwich, Cambridge, Bournemouth, Basingstoke, Stoke, Nottingham, Hull, Aberdeen, Stockton on Tees, Dunfermline, and Dundee. I think I've said all that. I might have missed a couple. Oh, Bradford possibly as well. And the theatres. I mean, I checked all the theatres out that we're playing, and they're just stunning. So yeah, I can't wait to get on stage, and it's quite. I mean, it's going to be fun because it's just me and an acoustic guitar on these huge stages in front of hopefully a couple of thousand people a night.
Yeah.
So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Is this the start now of more live dates to come? Have you got more kind of being planned?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, last year was really getting the all the music and all the ducks in a row, as Helen likes to say. Um, and now that everything is lined up, now we're just full systems go for releasing music. We're going to be doing 5 releases across 2025, 5 singles plus the album. Um, and then, yeah, just touring relentlessly, hopefully. So, doing this tour with Wet 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 up till the 9th of February. And then, yes, back gigging in Manchester the week after that. But the plan is now to be going out doing other tour supports, to be basically gigging and spreading this music with as much people as possible throughout the
Mm.
year. So yeah, be a fun year.
Festivals as well, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We're lined up for a few already, which I can't announce yet, but we're yes, well on the case for that.
Good. I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Um, Tracks generally always start off with melody. Um, I I mean, I play guitar in my basement, and that was in my cellar and basement mixed together. Um, Most nights, and generally I'm always practicing stuff, and then always kind of get little melody ideas, and we'll just sing 3 different melody ideas, and then if I find something that's good enough, then we'll start putting lyrics to that good melody. Um, and yeah, and then lyrically, I always like to kind of work back from a title, which is get a strong title in mind, and then um, work back from that so that everything in the song supports that. Just quite structured, which is definitely not what it used to be when I was younger. But having written with a lot of great writers now, I've learned some good ways of going about things. Hopefully,
Yeah, absolutely. And do the lyrics come quite straightforward to you, or is it a challenge at times?
um, lyrics are definitely more challenging, um, but I would always write too many lyrics. So if I need one verse, I write 4 to then pick the best of those 4.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely for every part of a song, I probably write every song with about 4 or 5 times as many lyrics as is needed. Uh, yes, refine and cut and choose the best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as you're fairly new to the music world, I'd like to find out how you got into this in the first place.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this for quite some time. I used to play in a band called International One in my youth, which was me and 4 lads from Manchester, and we did quite well by ourselves. We were together for a good few years, and we got a great song called Moonshine and Roses. We put that out as a self-release. Ended up getting that played by Zane Lowe on Radio 1, Steve Lamack on Radio 2 was playing that, and we got Single of the Week on XFM in Manchester. We also got the music video out on MTV2 and loads of other music channels. So it felt like we were doing quite well
Yeah.
as a signed indie band. And then because of that, we did get a record deal. We got signed to this uh, quite uh, quite dysfunctional label, might be the word to describe it. That had a lot of money, but not a great deal of sense. And over the course of 12 months, I spent a ridiculous amount of money on things. Uh, and basically, after 12 months of working with this record label, they billed everything to us. And so we were £250,000 in debt to that record label, having released no music at all. So, yeah, that was a real killer. And so that was the end of that band, which is why I
Mm.
started a solo project instead. Uh, so yeah, this is where we are now.
Tough times.
Mm.
But we're all good
Yeah,
now. All good now.
yeah,
John, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
yeah, man. I've really enjoyed it. Nice to speak to you. And yeah, if if you yourself and any listeners want to follow the journey, just at John Blaylock Music on Instagram, Facebook, all those things. And yeah, come to one of the gigs. Going up and down the country with Wet 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 in the next 2 weeks.